Hi, F5 Partners. My name is Gary, and today I want to talk to you about F5 Distributed Cloud. I'd like to give you an introduction, touch on the problems we're solving for our customers. It's not going to be an in-depth overview of Distributed Cloud, but I hope it will give you a taster of what the platform is actually capable of. So there was a time when we thought that the move to cloud would solve all of our problems, that it would be a very easy migration, and everything would be nice and easy. But in reality, as you can see from this diagram, most of our customers have ended up with a lot of complexity. Okay, we've surveyed our customers, and about 9 out of 10 of them have a situation like you see in this picture. They've got environments in AWS, they've got environments in Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. They run on-prem data centers, and they've got things running in co-locations or using SaaS applications also. This is actually a very, very complex situation and leads to a lot of issues. We call this the ball of fire. And it is becoming untenable to a lot of the people we're talking about. When you add AI to the mix, the problem just balloons even more. Um, we see exploding operational complexity. We see costs increasing at a rate which is just not sustainable. And when we think about the cybersecurity and the exposure, it's not manageable anymore. It's becoming increasingly difficult, and customers' data, our data, everyone's data is being exposed. Through a similar timeline, we've seen the evolution of load balancers or application delivery controllers. So you probably know F5 for our load balancing products, Big IP, but we evolved those into an application delivery controller where we added security services and DDoS mitigation, like things like WAF, combined it into a single platform. Around 2016, when this cloud kind of revolution took off, we saw the emergence of application delivery controllers as a service. The cloud providers built their own ones. You can use big IPs in the cloud providers as well. Um, but this still presents customers with a problem where they have different areas to manage all of these different things. So if you think back to the ball of fire picture I showed, you would have a different type of an ADC running in AWS and a different type of ADC running in your on-prem data center. And that just adds to more complexity, and that just adds to more kind of expense for our customers. So what we've built with Distributed Cloud is a platform in its purest sense that allows our customers to combine application security and application delivery into the single platform and really deploy it wherever their applications are running. So as you'd expect from any platform, there's a lot of things built into this, but the primary aim here is to help our customers be able to deploy their application security and their application delivery with their applications in all of the different clouds, in all of their on-prem environments, in all of their co-location environments, and give them a single platform, a single policy enforcement point for everything that they have. So the platform is built on a number of concepts, primarily around a whole zero trust environment. And I'll touch on kind of some of the kind of key components here as well. Um, the main thing is obviously our F5 global network. So this is a vast network that we use to connect the platform together and deliver these services to our customers, no matter where they are all over the world. We've built in things like identity and full role-based access control into the platform. We use the concept of namespaces to give our customers separation of duties within the environment. Obviously, the console is a SaaS console, so it's available everywhere and it's available to everyone. We've also built in some features like secrets management. Obviously, security is very, very important to us and our customers and your customers. So giving the customers the ability to upload their encryption keys where no one else can see them, not even F5, I think is very, very important and kind of bodes to the bona fides of the platform as a security first zero trust platform. We've also implemented things like service discovery that allows us to identify where services are running, and then based on where those services are running, direct traffic to them or not, depending on the policies that our customers or your customers have implemented. But there's one key thing that makes this different than any other SaaS cloud provider or any other kind of cloud out there at the moment. The first concept I want you to understand is the concept of what we call a regional edge. So the regional edge is essentially our POP, our point of presence, that we operate in many countries all over the world. Okay, this gives our customers the ability to use our POPs to deliver their application services or implement security services like web application firewalling, API protection, API discovery, web application scanning, DDoS mitigation, bot mitigation. You can see where this goes. So this gives our customers a place to implement these services. Where distributed cloud differentiates itself from pretty much every other similar platform out there is the concept of a customer edge. Essentially, what a customer edge will do will allow our customers to deploy all of the benefits of distributed cloud in their own environment. Okay, I want to be very, very clear about this. The customer edge can be installed in the customer's data center. It can be installed in their AWS instance or their Azure instance or their Google instance. And it gives them the ability then to start delivering application delivery services like load balancing, application security services like web app firewall, like API discovery. All of these services can be delivered locally on-prem. The customer then can connect those together using our global network, or if they have their own IP transit, they can use their own IP transit, again, giving more flexibility to customers to deliver their services how they see fit. I mentioned that it can be deployed anywhere, but I just want to really double down on that point to give you an idea of how ubiquitous these customer edges are actually. So obviously they'll run natively in all of the different public cloud environments with integration into their workflows, into their networking. It will run as a virtual machine or as a container in on-prem environments or in private cloud environments like OpenShift as an example. But it can also run in perhaps a retail environment or a branch office environment or even in a manufacturing environment. Okay. And once you start to see how we layer the services on top of this, you can really start to see the power of the platform. And when you have a centralized console over this, when you start to get centralized analytics, centralized security metrics, centralized reporting, you can see that this one platform will really help our customers improve their operational efficiency and help them solve the ball of fire that a lot of our customers are struggling with today. So let's just kind of go through this step by step, and we'll see kind of how we build this and then how our customers can take advantage of the different services on it. So if this is a traditional customer environment, let's say they've got their own data centers, maybe they use some co-location or a bit of private cloud, they've got cloud environments with AWS and Azure. It's very common for customers to have more than one cloud provider. So the first thing we can do here is we can install a CE, a customer edge, in all of these locations. Once the customer deploys the customer edge, they will automatically connect together and build a mesh based on the policies that the customers have built in the platform on the console. Okay, so straight away we've removed the logistics and removed the complexity of having to worry about the routing tables between these environments, having to worry about the encryption between these environments, having to worry about things like setting up VPN tunnels and sharing keys between these different environments. And this continues to happen as a customer adds more CEs, depending on how it's tagged, it will add to a mesh. Or if they remove a CE, then that mesh endpoint is removed and the security rules associated with it are removed as well. It also gives more flexibility when we add in the console on it. We can start to look into it and get a lot more granular about what we allow. So traditionally, in a situation like this, if you're going to allow traffic from public cloud A to talk to your VPC in public cloud B, as an example, you would normally just allow the subnet to talk to the subnet. Okay. With F5 Distributed Cloud, you can get a lot more granular and you can say that I want my application server running in Microsoft Azure to only be able to communicate with the database that I have running on-prem or another instance of the database that I have running in AWS. Okay. And it leverages things like service discovery to make sure that the services are available. And when they're available, it will publish those services to where they're supposed to be accessed from. And then the access rules will be created and access will be granted. When we start to leverage on things like web application security and combine that with application delivery, you can start to see the benefits here. So for example, if a customer was deploying an application that was part in public cloud A, part in public cloud B, maybe was using some APIs to communicate with a service running in the colo or a database running in the traditional data center, we've built the connectivity, but now we can also start to enforce security controls in these locations. So we can start to discover all of the APIs that are being accessed across all of these locations. We can identify shadow APIs and we can start to enforce API security on any APIs that are here, particularly with the rise of AI-based applications and the proliferation of large language models. All of that traffic is API-based. If your customers are deploying web applications, we can use this to enforce our web app security policies and have the same WAF firewall, web application firewall, or the same bot mitigation service running across all of these environments. So gone are the days when you had to configure your on-prem web application firewall and your web application firewall in Amazon differently and hope that you got the same results. Okay, so it really simplifies some of the problems that our customers are coming up against in trying to manage this ball of fire and trying to manage the sprawl of tools that we have across all of these different environments. So the real difference here is, and I want to come back to this, is that if you take a look at this ball of fire and see what it is with all of the different locations, all of the different services, all of the different implementations of maybe similar functionality, but implemented a different way. And what I mean by that is how you implement a web application firewall natively in AWS is very different than Azure, which is very different than how you do it on-prem. But F5 Distributed Cloud is and F5 is the only vendor that can help your customers solve this ball of fire by providing them the ability to deploy consistent security services, okay, across all of their applications, no matter where they are deployed. And this is a very, very big deal right now, where we're hearing from all of our customers. The service portfolio is very complete, and you can see here, you can take a look here and you can identify maybe specific services that might interest your customers. And then you can start to learn more about these different services and how they interact with the platform and how they could potentially help your customers solve their ball of fire. So hopefully this was useful. I hope you learned a little bit around kind of why we feel F5 Distributed Cloud is a unique offering in the market right now, and how it can deliver significant value for you and your customers going forward.